Hey guys, we're back. So, Apple just showed off all their new hardware in the odd dropping event, and there's a lot to be excited about. So, let's get right into it. Personally, for me, I was most excited about this Air model coming out. We'd heard rumors about it all year long, pretty much, and wow, that thing is beautiful. It really reminded me of the iPhone 10 unveil, and I actually just watched a video where Brian Tong pretty much said the same thing. But I'm not apple biting over here. It's just what it reminded me of. The new form factor, the polished railings. It's really just a great looking phone. So I'm an iPhone Pro user. I shoot all of the videos here on YouTube through ProRes on an external SSD. So I wanted to go over the pros and cons of what they didn't really talk about on stage, coming from a Pro phone user's point of view. So we did get that A19 Pro Series chip. And so I want to compare what are we losing, what are we gaining when it comes to the iPhone Air when I'm comparing the iPhone 16 Pro Max from what I currently use to upgrading to the 17 Pro Max and what we're leaving out. So that Pro chip is definitely a plus, but we are losing one less GPU core compared to the iPhone 17 Pro Max. There's going to be six CPU cores and only five GPU cores, as opposed to six and six that were not only on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, but also coming to the 17 Pro Max as well. On the Air and the 17 Pro Max, we're getting that all new front facing camera that's 18 megapixels. They're calling it center stage. And really, what that means is it'll auto crop when more people come into the frame. It'll actually go from a portrait mode camera to a horizontal shot. So that's really, really dope. So, they even showed it off. They don't want you holding the selfie in horizontal mode. Not only is it just a little harder to actually capture the shot, but the camera is then off to the side and you're not really getting the most natural looking shot. So this one will actually just auto flip the orientation for you, which I'm really excited to use. You're not getting that on the 16 Pro Max, obviously. Also, going with the Air, we're not losing out on Pro Motion, which is something that I thought was going to be hit or miss with this. Are they going to give us a Pro feature that they've only given, Pro devices for so many years? But no, even the regular 17 gets it now. So we're in the clear. And we're also getting a brighter screen. This will now hit a peak brightness of 3000 nits compared to the 2000 that we're getting on this 16 Pro Max. And we're also getting that ceramic shield 2, which offers an anti-reflective coating, as well as it just makes it stronger from scratching. I think they said it's 3 times stronger against scratches, which for the 16 line, and I think even the 15, when they brought on ceramic shield, that was kind of the biggest thing, is people's screens weren't cracking as much, but they were getting pretty scratched up just from a set of keys or anything kind of in your pocket. So that's great to see. Now on to the weight. So this is definitely a pro for me, because that is what I've been really looking for. Is I wanted a bigger phone, but I wanted to cut the weight down. Now, Apple tried with the titanium over the stainless steel. That really did help with the 15 and 16 Pro Maxes. The 17 is now going to be made of aluminum, where the Air is still titanium, but we're going from, I think, 233 grams for the iPhone 17 Pro Max all the way down to 165 grams, which is huge. I've talked about it countless times in my videos. I'm in Southern California, so I'm really in gym shorts like 90% of the year. I know, boo me, right? But it's just something that I don't want my phone weighing down the left side of my pocket anymore. And the Air, I think, is going to be a breath of fresh air when it comes to that. So the Air sounds perfect, right? But really, there's still about 15 different things that I wanted to go over with you guys that we're not getting on the Air phone. And it's mostly video related. So as a content creator, it makes it a tough choice. So one of the biggest things for me that we did not get was a USB-C port with USB 3. We're only getting USB 2 speeds, which is super slow. Like I said, I record all these videos on an external SSD, and that's just something that we're not going to be able to do on this Air device. Secondly, no shooting in 4K 120. They brought that to us last year on the 16 Pro and Pro Max, and I really love that feature for just shooting B-rolls and slow motion videos of my family. I think it's perfect, but on the Air model, we're only getting 4K 60. Not a deal breaker, but I'm going to miss that. Obviously, with just the one camera lens, we're going to lose out on a lot of those zoom shots. So we're still going to be able to get the telephoto lens uh, built inside where we get 1 and 2x zooms. But that new 17 Pro Max is going all the way up to 8 times zoom. So if that's something that you shoot a lot, is zooming in on photos, then, you know, Air might not be for you. Fourth, we don't have the adaptive True Tone flash anymore. But who uses flash still? All right, 5. There's no 3D sensor shift optical image stabilization. Okay. All right, 6. So with just that one lens again, we're also not getting spatial videos. Sorry, Apple Vision nerds. Number 7. No ProRes video, which just came out on the new 17 Pros. That's probably going to eat up a lot of storage, but also no Pro RAW photos either. Number 8, no ProRes video at all, or no Apple Log 2 that they just released for the 17 Pro lineup. That one really hurts. I love ProRes. Number 9, no cinematic mode. It doesn't look like that's something that even got updated on the 17 lineup. I didn't really use it much, so I'm not going to miss it. Number 10, no Genlock support that they just released for the 17 Pros either. And that is a really expensive dock that they showed off made by Blackmagic that works with the Blackmagic camera app on the iPhone that Apple's always pushing, but they also make their own Pro Final Cut camera that doesn't get to use that. So that's the app I use, is the Final Cut. Helps with the Final Cut on the iPad. So that's something we're not getting. Number 11, no macro photography or video. That's something that I do enjoy, and I will miss that on this Air model. Number 12, no studio quality 4 mic array on this one like we got on the 16 series or 16 Pro series last year. A lot of people are just using Bluetooth wireless mics anyhow. So I won't miss that one. 13, no SIM tray. So here in the States for a few years since the 14 series, we've only had eSIM. So it's not going to be a big deal for me, but if you're somewhere else in the world, that's something that you're going to have to get used to and maybe you're not happy with. 14, no millimeter wave on this modem, but Apple just came out with a newer version of their in-house modems, the C1X, that's made specifically just for this Air model. I'm hoping that this will actually improve some of my dead zones that I actually have around me, which millimeter wave didn't help me at all. So I'm actually looking forward to that. And lastly, number 15. This one has to do with MagSafe charging. So I've just been testing a slew of these new Qi 2.2 25 watt MagSafe chargers. We got a battery bank here. We got some desktop options. We got bedside options that we're doing all sorts of testing on. These now charge up to 25 watts, like I said, but the iPhone Air will only support up to 20 watts. Now, when I was doing a little research on this, I found out that only the 16 and 16 Pro Max and 16 Plus actually had the full 25 watts of MagSafe charging, and that the smaller Pro and smaller 16 actually only supported up to 22 watts. I didn't know that, but there's going to be all sorts of options that are coming out that go up to 25, and this iPhone Air is going to be capped at 20. But I mean, this is still higher than the 15 watts that we've been getting since the iPhone 12. And when it comes to wireless charging, it's all going to depend on the heat anyhow. So even with these 25-watt chargers, they don't really stay at 25 watts for that long. So, we're going to be testing all of these devices on that Air model and see what kind of results we're really getting anyhow. So, that's been 15 things that we're not getting on the Air that we could be getting on, say, the iPhone Pro Max. So if you want to see more of all this testing and results from Qi 2.2, as well as coverage for the iPhone Air and the 17 Pro Max, please get subscribed if you're not already. Share it with your friends, like the videos, run these numbers up. Come on, guys. Let's make this channel grow. All right, guys, so let's wrap this up.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
To me, Apple is kind of splitting up the Pro lineup. I feel like the iPhone Air is a Pro phone, but it's a little more pretty, a little more elegant, and kind of your everyday Pro. Everybody that gets a Pro phone, they're not using all of these different features with the external SSDs or really a lot of these lenses. So now I feel like the Pro models are the nerdy phones and the Air model is the Pro pretty phone. So what do you guys think? Did Apple do enough to secure your upgrade? Let me know in the comments below if you're planning to upgrade, what model you're going to get, and if you learned anything from watching this video. But until the next one, it's Sean with Buck Life. Peace.